And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It's another episode of Hansons on Hiatus, episode number 44. I am Nate. This is my wife, Alexis.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And as usual, don't forget to support the podcast, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can also follow us on YouTube, Spotify, all the other podcasting apps, wherever you listen to. And if it's not on there, the one that you use, let us know. And I'll do my best to get it on there. Oh, shoot. Okay, so it's been not a terrible week, but there's been a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff, a lot of change.
Yeah. We had my parents coming in, and they were traveling from Iowa.
Yep.
And God, I can't remember what day this was on, but they were traveling from Des Moines, Iowa to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Had a layover in Atlanta. Then the layover in Atlanta to Cancun, yep. And then to here. So they were coming for 2 months. My mom just retired.
Yay.
So congratulations, Jackie.
Yes, that is.
Yeah. So they're coming here for like 2 months, which pray for us.
Yes.
But also we're excited to have them here. So, they've been here tons of times. So it's nice that they're not just here for a week or a couple days, and they can kind of relax, and we don't have to be like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's great. We have the best neighbors ever now.
Yeah. But they had some weather delays, and I know if you're in Atlanta, you got some stuff. If you're in Florida, you got some junk. But they were getting a snowstorm, and like the morning they were flying out. So their so their flight was at 5:45, and it started snowing like overnight. And I don't know how much they got. Do you know how much they got?
Don't know, at least a few inches. I mean,
yeah.
it came on quick.
Oh yeah, I mean it was like piled up over my brother's car, but we were worried. Yeah, and we were worried about them not being able to get out. Rightly so, because they got to the airport like 4:30, I think, and their flight was supposed to be at 5:45. And they get on everything seemed fine, no delays. They get on, and they're flying Delta.
Yep.
Get on the flight, and they're getting ready to go out to the runway, and they just they have to like plow the runway, I guess. Yeah. I don't know what they do. Do they have a snowblower for the runway?
Yeah, maybe like a big old I pictured like a plane with the snowplow truck thing on the front, and they're just like
yeah. You think I know most airports aren't new, but you think airports in snowy places would get that shit that they have for people's driveways, that you can get it's like the heated thing where it like melts the snow or whatever.
Yeah, like I don't know.
It's like a strip of wire or something like that.
Yeah, it heats it up. You think they would?
That would be smart.
Or, we're about to take off. Why didn't you plow before?
Right.
But it was coming down like really fast.
Yeah. So they get out on the runway and they're delayed. And I don't know how long they were on the runway. It was probably a couple hours, right?
I think an hour at least, couple hours.
Because they couldn't get the plane, and they decided they had to go back to the gate, and they're like, fuck, they're almost there. That's the worst. If you cancel my flight, that sucks. But when you're on the plane, that's the worst.
And the Delta rep kept saying like, don't worry, we want to get this flight out. Like the rest are probably going to be delayed or canceled or whatever, but we're getting this one out. So we're like, yes, please.
Yeah. So they had to plow the runway just to get them back to the gate,
which is kind of terrifying.
Yeah. And so they were just hanging out there all day, and it keeps getting we'll let you know in an hour. Okay. Another hour goes by, and it keeps getting pushed back. And they're worried their connecting flight was like 12:30 p.m.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be getting into Cancun at like 2:00. So eventually it keeps getting pushed back, and they're like, we're not making it. We're not making at least this flight. And I look, and thank God they're on Delta, because at least they have other options. I love Spirit and Frontier and all them, but they usually got like 1-2 flights a day.
Yeah.
And then you miss it, you're leaving tomorrow or maybe 2 days from now.
Yeah. They just look at you like, sorry, we're booked. We'll get you on a flight in like 3 days. You're like, no.
Yeah. And that did happen to us.
It did.
But they eventually, I think they took off at like 1:30.
Yeah. So put your poor parents, they're like waiting around the airport all day, just hanging out, looking at their phones, eating lunch. They went to Payway, my favorite.
Yeah. So they finally took off at like 1:30 from Des Moines. But I think also one of the reasons, it wasn't just the snowstorm in Des Moines. In Georgia, they had those flash floods.
Yes.
So I saw Hartsfield-Jackson was delaying flights, from their origin. They're like, don't even come here. Like, you can't even get here. Like,
it was
don't
like
even try.
The whole East Coast just got every extreme weather that morning, of course.
Yeah. So they finally took off at 1:30, so they'd been there since 4 a.m. and they get to Atlanta, and then they get the payway,
Mm-hmm.
and they're there for their flight. I believe that left at or supposed to leave at 6 and get in at 9.
And Delta like rescheduled them nicely. And
Oh yeah, they redid all that.
Yeah.
Like they rebooked them. I mean, they
Great.
have to because it's they already paid.
Yeah. You never know with airlines these days.
True. But then so they're getting ready to take off, and I can't remember how long the flight's supposed to be. Maybe like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, or something like that.
Pretty quick.
It was, even though they were supposed to land at 9, it got delayed. They're going to take off the same time, but not land till 9:45 now, because in Florida there was fucking tornadoes.
Yes. So they had to like go around or something.
Yeah,
or
we had
fly
to go.
around.
They had to go around the tornadoes in Florida and Alabama and stuff. And I'm like, we're like a week and a half into 2024.
Oh
like, what the
my
fuck is
God.
going on? Every natural disaster is happening on the way.
Yes.
And we had like some pretty bad winds too.
I think the earth is telling us, wake up, people.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah. So they actually landed a little bit early. It was like 9:20. So that they made it, and then they had to wait for the ride, and then the ride that we had booked for him, I guess the guy was like drinking or something.
Oh my God. Yeah, they were gonna take the bus, the ADO, but then you were like, you know what? I'm just gonna book them like a private shuttle, like a taxi. Make sure just pick them up, get them here as quick as possible. And that was a little delayed. Like every step of the way was a little delayed.
Yes. So yeah, the guy that was driving him down, my mom's like, yeah, he just stopped to go to the bathroom. And then when they got here finally, my dad took a picture with the driver. I don't know why he always does that, but he took a picture with the
Love his
driver,
photos.
and the driver had like a big like tall boy can of beer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he didn't stop to go. Maybe he went to the bathroom. He stopped to get a beer.
Yeah.
That's probably why he was stopping.
Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico.
Hashtag Mexico
So,
life.
so they made it. My parents are here until like mid-March. I do leave for the Super Bowl at the end of the month here. So,
You do.
and you'll be here for 2 weeks with him.
I'll be in charge. I'll be taking the reins from you.
Good luck.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, no, they'll be great. They're very self-sufficient, so they're just go up to the pool, go to the beach, do their own thing.
Yeah, we'll be doing a lot of chilling, a lot of sun time things.
But I do have to say, even though, like I said, I love Spirit and Frontier, cheap, easy, whatever. We do fly Delta every now and then, and I gotta say, Delta in Des Moines was fucking awesome when we were coming back from Iowa for the holidays.
Amazing. Like customer service, you get all the stars.
Yeah, we also had to get there super early, like 4 a.m. They had Starbucks coffee ready. They gave us little snack boxes.
Yes, the snack boxes were awesome.
And when you're getting on the plane, they gave you a little card with a piece of candy, and it said like, "Thanks for flying Delta in Des Moines" or something like that.
Yeah, had a little like the little outline of Iowa, like the state of Iowa,
Yeah.
a little candy, like a little mint from after your coffee.
And while we're waiting there, the gate agent all of a sudden pulls out a fucking guitar
I knew it.
and starts playing a song and changing the lyrics to say stuff about Delta.
Yes, he was so cute. I knew it. Like the lady started announcing things and like, we let any of our Delta reps do anything or whatever she said. They were so funny. I was like, is he about to sing? Is he going to be on like American Idol or something? Sure enough, he pulled out his guitar, started singing to us.
Yeah. And then I gave you the window seat because usually like we book the 2 outside seats hoping nobody gets in the middle or like books the middle seat.
Yeah.
And this time,
Usually someone comes to sit in the middle and I'm like, I'll move over. It's
yeah.
fine.
Well, this time nobody did. So I was
Yep.
like, I'll sit in the aisle seat. So I let you have the window because usually you'll scoot over and I'll be on the window just because I'm bigger and, my elbows and everything. So I give you the window seat and you get in
Yay.
and you open up the window shade. What happened?
Bullshit. Just bullshit. Open it up and it's usually for some reason we always get the wing, but this time it was like the huge turbine thing. Just you couldn't even see a little bit of the outside. I'm like, it's the huge turbine just blocking the whole window. I'm like, never mind.
I'm sorry.
Last time I asked for the window.
Yeah. And then when we get to Cancun, we're, go through immigration and everything, and we're waiting for our bags. And all of a sudden I hear this like Mexican music. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And like loud.
Yeah. This woman had not just like a little Bluetooth speaker, like one of those like big ones sitting on the floor, and she just busts it open and starts playing some fucking music. And I'm like, we're back in Mexico.
Back in Mexico. I will give her credit because there was no music on, which was weird. It was
Yeah.
really quiet there. So she's just playing some tunes and it's like the party music for the beach, not like the families in the airport. Everybody's looking around like, what the heck?
Yeah. And then also, well, actually, this happened before when we were in Des Moines, Iowa, like 4 a.m. And we're getting out. My parents are dropping us off, and we're getting out of the car, saying our goodbyes. My mom bends down and finds 1,000 peso bill on the ground.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, look at this." We're like, "What?"
Yeah, which I've never even seen. Well, no, I've seen one. Our buddy Jose, his wife, had got one when they were here in Mexico. But yeah, I'd never seen one, let alone on the street in Iowa. So, and that's like almost $60 some. So, we'll take it.
I feel bad for the person that lost it, but maybe we were meant to have it.
Yeah, so that was nice.
Good eyes, Jackie.
Yeah, and then what else happened on the plane? The pilot comes on, I think when we were landing.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, what did he say? Do you remember?
He was like, just giving this like kind of quirky, funny announcement. He's like, I just want to let you know that my son's on the flight, and it's his first flight that he had to pay for. Usually he gets, free flights with me because I'm his dad and I'm a pilot. But I don't remember why he said he was paying for it.
He was going to see a friend, I think, for the holidays or something.
Yeah.
And maybe during the holidays they have like a blackout period for family members.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny that he got on the announcement and like embarrassed his son, just like a dad.
Cute. He's like, I'm sorry, son, but you'll get
like,
over it.
Congratulations on buying your first flight. And everybody's like, woo.
Yeah. He was so sweet. He was like, I'm so proud of you. You're killing it in life. Blah blah blah. It was great.
Yeah. So
only in Iowa, if I had to move to Iowa, I would not complain. Everybody's so nice there. I know you have the extremes like the hot and the cold seasons, but everybody's just so nice there and goes above and beyond in life. Like just every aspect. It's wonderful.
It's an untouched place in the U.S.
It is. I hope it stays that way.
Yeah. So, and then when we arrived back, there was what was the holiday? Dia de Reyes.
Yes.
It's like the Three Kings Day. It's the Epiphany when the three kings came to baby Jesus with all the. I was like
gifts.
doing some. I kind of know generally. I'm not super religious. I know generally the story, but I wanted to read up on it, what they believe here in Mexico, and the three kings that set off to go find the baby Jesus or whatever, and give him gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and. I always thought, like, when you see the picture of the three wise men going across the desert or whatever, they're always on camels. But here in Mexico, I guess they believe one was on a camel, one was on a horse, and one was on an elephant.
Love it.
Which I did not know that.
I love that so much.
Yeah. So the city did this cool thing where the Rosca de Reyes is the king's cake, which it's very similar to the one in like New Orleans where you'll see it has the different Mardi Gras type colors and stuff. Similar to that, but it's in a circle, which I guess is supposed to symbolize the ongoing love from God or something. And it always has some different kind of fruits and these kind of, I don't know, they're like these fruit strip things on there sometimes.
Yeah, they kind of look like green beans, but they're not.
Yeah. No, I mean it's more like jellied. It's almost like what's the cake that everybody hates during Christmas?
Yeah, like the fruit cake.
Fruit cake. Yeah, it's almost like that. But I guess those different fruits are supposed to represent the jewels in the king's headdresses or whatever.
Yes.
So
I like the maraschino cherries.
Yeah. But yeah, usually it's in in a circle, but the city put on this thing they were doing, I don't think it was a world record. Somebody said that, but I was looking it up and the world record's like really long.
Oh, maybe they're trying to like work their way up to it.
But they did a 365 meter long Rosca de Reyes, like the king cake, in the middle of the city. It was really cool. It went on for like 8 blocks, and they just had all these tables set up, and the students from, I can't remember what the university is. A university. It's probably like some kind of culinary school.
Culinary school.
Yeah, and so they all made it, and it was really cool. So they had this big long strip, and they had it sliced into pieces. So we went out there and we listened to the singers and the governor give a speech and everything like
Lily
that.
Campos was there. They had this beautiful like choir singing and playing guitar. They were wonderful. And I love it that we didn't have to go all the way to Centro or anywhere else. It was right like in our neighborhood on like 34th, their little roundabout. So it's just like even more fun that it's like right by our house and they're doing this big celebration.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got something that's really good.
Really good.
And I think they do a similar one in New Orleans and Mardi Gras and stuff, but they had in every one there's a little baby Jesus. Yeah. And if you find the baby Jesus in your piece of Rosca de Reyes, it's you have to make tamales for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did not find one. So thank
No.
God we didn't have to make tamales because I've never made those before.
I know. I don't want to have to do that. That seems like a lot of work, and I don't want to chip my tooth on little baby Jesus or whatever. But our friend Marlos found one.
Yeah.
That we heard.
Yeah. So that's fun. We're always learning about new holidays here.
Yeah.
It seems like from Independence Day in September until February, maybe even March, there's like 10 holidays in Mexico.
They have a lot of holidays, and a lot of them seem like kind of similar to ours, but then they have even like the elephant part, or just like there's always this like even more fun aspect of it. You're like, oh, that's great. Like there's elephants and this and that. It's just a little more fun. I
Well,
feel
yeah,
like.
there was, King's Day, and there's Day of the Dead, and then there's Christmas, and like I said, Independence Day, and then there's also Samantha Sana coming up.
Oh yeah, we even just like you said, Dia de Muertos, but there's like every day leading up to Dia de Muertos, there's something to celebrate every day.
Yeah,
to drink
Thanksgiving
or eat
also. And what was the other one? Hanal Pixan is the Mayan Day of the Dead. So yeah,
we're exhausted.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that's what I've always learned. Like at least in our culture, you and me, that they always have holidays around the winter time because it keeps people, like back in the day, it like kept people's spirits up.
Yeah.
So it gave you something to look forward to, fucking Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, whatever. And that's why we always hated it after New Year's, because they're like, okay, it's still cold for another 3 fucking months.
Yeah, what do we do now?
Yeah, so I don't know why they have so many here, but that's what it always felt, or I've always kind of been told or learned, was you have a lot of holidays during the winter time to keep people, thinking about each other and active, and you're not, just sitting inside and just freezing.
It's also a good time to get together with the people you probably don't see all the time throughout the year because you're outside, you're busy, you're doing things, you're traveling. Now it's like it's cold, we're all in the same area, let's get together and celebrate and all that.
Yeah, so fun holidays.
Yeah, it's fun. We'll remember it for next year, and it's Mardi Gras is kicking off soon.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
Yeah, all those things. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of religious holidays dealing with that as well. So.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm probably fucking all this up. So if you know more than me, let me know. Leave us a message.
Obviously, we're not up on our religion. But we're trying.
Yeah, but it's fun to learn for sure.
Yeah, I love to learn about it.
But so this is aside from that. Also, I've joined all these dog rescue groups here in Playa just because I want to see if there's anything I can do, or a dog we could maybe foster in the future, or some of them, some of the rescues we can walk the dogs and help out the street puppies. But so I've joined all these different groups, and a lot of times you'll see dogs missing or dogs found. Like, hey, this dog has been like sitting on my front patio for like 2 days. I was like, anybody missing their dog?
Yeah. Sometimes they get out. A lot of people here don't have their dogs on leashes. They're trained, they listen, but then sometimes they run away.
Yeah, they get out. Or some people treat their dogs like cats, and they just let them out and they run around and play with their street dog friends for the day, and then they come back home.
I couldn't imagine. Like if Tiger or Pharaoh did that, I'd be worried all day. Like, where are they? Come home.
So I've started doing this thing where I watch all these groups, and I see a dog missing in one group and I see one found in another group, and I've tried to connect them to each other. So I've done that probably 2 or 3 times, like connecting somebody's lost dog with somebody that had found their dog.
Yeah.
And even one that I saw somebody had found, and I guess what they do a lot of times is they'll tie them up somewhere, even if it's not, anywhere, just like wherever they find them.
Yeah.
Because people that are looking for their dog, the dog might be running around the street, and you're like, where the fuck is it? Or somebody takes it inside or whatever. So they try to keep it in one spot so people know where to go.
That's smart. It's a good idea.
Yeah. So there's this one that I saw was tied up, and somebody was like, oh, they tied it too tight. He can't lay down. So I went to go find this dog, and he had already been found and then connected with the owner.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But this other day, this week, I saw, what was the Spuds MacKenzie dog?
It's like a American Bull Terrier.
Yeah, that one. So I saw this guy say, hey, this dog has been sitting on my patio for the last like 2 hours. Does anybody know whose dog it is?
Yeah.
And it was tied up on his patio. I'm in another group, and this guy posts a missing, or like not a wanted flyer. Yeah, a missing flyer, I guess. And just saying the dog and like the colors and everything like that, and the collar, what it looked like. And I'm like, oh, this is the dog I saw in the other group. And so I commented on it, and I said, oh, it's in this group. And I tagged that group. I go back to look for that post, in the other group, and it's gone.
Ugh.
And I was like, oh, they must have, connected and got the dog back. That's great.
Yeah.
Later in the day, I see in that group where the dog was said it was found, that guy had posted in the group his wanted poster, and he was like, hey, he's like, I'm, missing my dog still. Somebody said they saw a post here, and he put a screenshot of that post. And so I commented on it, and the guy that had originally posted it, I tagged him in it, and I was like, hey, like, you should tag this guy in your post so he sees your dog.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's a great idea. So then down the way a little bit, I see somebody else did the same thing. The guy comments and he goes, oh, I've already given him to the owner. He came and got him.
Oh no.
And then, so the guy that's with the missing flyer is like, no, this is my dog. He has a chip. It has all my information in it. Who did you give it to? Oh my God. And the guy was like, he came, he proved it was him, and he gave it. And this is all like translated. So I might be missing this a little bit, but he was like, the owner already came and proved it, and he picked him up, and he's like, that's my dog. You gave my dog away to somebody. And so now I'm trying to figure out, do you think he gave the dog to somebody that was just saying that it was their dog? Because some people, I guess, will do that. That's why they need proof, because if it's somebody that wants to like resell the dog, like if it's an exotic breed, they'll just go pick him up. So do you think this guy kept the dog, or do you think he gave it to somebody else? Because that guy deleted his post.
Yeah, I wonder how old did the dog look? Was it like a younger?
It wasn't a puppy, but it didn't look like old,
Yeah, I just wonder, like, would he have sold it? Would somebody buy? Like, are you paying like the higher amount for this breed, even though it's like 3 or 4 or 5? So I don't know if he would sell it, or maybe it was an honest mistake and gave it to these people. Maybe those people think it is their dog, and then they get it home and they're like, oh shoot, this isn't our dog. It looks like it, but oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. But you would think, like, if he did do that, he would be like, oh, I'll message you, or hey, this is the guy that contacted me. Contact him or whatever. He didn't say any of that shit.
Yeah,
so
the fact that he deleted the post and isn't like responsive.
Because usually people will just update it, say update, connected with the owner or whatever. So I feel bad.
Break my heart.
I know. Like, I can't imagine. That's never even. I mean, I know that's a thing, but that's never been a thought in my mind. Like Tiger or Pharaoh. Yeah. That you would. You're always worried about something happening to them, or they're dying or something, but you don't really think about, oh, it could have just got up and somebody took it, know, and do you never see your dog again? And your dog is alive and well somewhere. And just think about, like, Tiger or Pharaoh living with somebody else for like a couple years and not knowing that, like, we didn't abandon him. Like, we are looking for you. Please come home.
Like, where's my mom?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would just. I can't. That would break my heart.
Yeah, I know. So.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure it happens all the time here, because we've had friends or neighbors that find street dogs, and a lot of them are street dogs. And then they bring them in. Hey, I found this dog. It's wonderful. And took it, got it all cleaned up, whatever. But it's probably, some of them you can tell. Yeah. It's trained. It's really good. This was probably somebody's dog, and now you have it.
Yeah, you just took it. And that one girl in our building that did that, she was like, oh, yeah, the street dog I rescued. And it looked, really nice.
Really nice.
And we're like, that's probably somebody's fucking dog.
Yeah.
And then she moved back to Canada and took the dog. So it's like, these poor, if it is somebody's dog, these poor people have no idea their dog's living in another country somewhere. Actually, probably living the life there. But
probably living a great life. I do remember, I think she said she checked if it had a microchip, and it didn't. And that was her last straw. Like, well, it's mine now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm going to continue to try to connect dogs and, do my good deeds for my computer.
You're doing the Lord's work, babe. You're connected.
Well, like we've said, we wanted to help all the dogs when we come here and stuff.
All the puppies.
It's we've also talked about. Yeah. I don't know if I have the heart or the I don't know to see the terrible things that happens to these dogs, because I see these posts and, hey, this dog has been hit by a car. It can't walk, and it's like legs are all bloody and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, like I know I can't, like I don't have like the stomach to see that type of stuff, but I want to help the dogs. So I need to be able to do something without seeing the heartbreaking things of dogs that are starving to death and this and that. And like I saw a lady, she was walking down the street and she heard some like a dog crying, and it was in a trash bag. It was a little puppy in a fucking trash bag. Like, people are so terrible.
So terrible. Yeah. We've seen kittens, like a bag of kittens. It's like their way of
just like let it go.
Yeah, you're
like I mean
them away.
That's not like what you should do, but why do that? Like, that's unreal. Or at least take it to somebody that could get it adopted or euthanize it or whatever, but don't let it suffocate in a fucking bag.
How terrible, psycho. Like, there's thousands of expats around here, people around here that want kittens or puppies or, whatever, and they will take all of them, and you're just throwing them away. Some of those pictures of them, like, some of the dogs out on the street and they're getting bit and they have mites and all. Oh my God. I wish I was a millionaire so I could help them all.
Yeah.
Just like, it breaks my heart.
I know, but maybe we can always walk the dogs and stuff like that. Yeah. So we'll try to do our part that way.
Yes. And we pretty much are the, our building's puppy babysitters. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
we watch all.
We are helping out,
yes.
And a lot of them are rescues. Like our neighbor Sydney, her dog Cheyenne. The little, if you watch our Instagram stories, she's a little Chihuahua, and she was, I think, part of like a kind of a puppy mill type thing.
Yeah.
She was a rescue. She took her, but she has this like scar, like on her throat from they would tie her up against the cage. And force her to have like litters and stuff. So, but now she's living the life. She was just in California for the winter, and sits up on the pool deck with us, and just the sweetest little puppy.
She's so sweet. You can look at her little face and her eyes and the way she looks at Sydney, and she's like, "Thank you, thank you for you saved my life. This is the best life." This dog. I don't know how, but you could tell she's so appreciative.
Yeah, totally. So. Yeah, so that is about it. I'm sure next week we'll have some more stories from my parents being here and everything.
Oh yeah, something always
happens. But we did have one listener question I wanted to get to before we get out of here.
Sweet.
This is from Josh K, and he says, "What do you guys think of the new Mayan train? Will it be a convenient way to get from Cancun to Playa?" And so that is kind of, and I can't remember if we've touched on this before, but the Train Maya is kind of a controversial topic here because it's going, so basically it's a passenger train that's going all around the Yucatan Peninsula. It doesn't start in Cancun, but you could start in Cancun and it'll come down here through Playa, go down to Tulum, down to Bacalar, and then over, I think it goes into Palenque, over in is that in Chiapas or Tabasco? Anyway, it goes over there a little bit, then it comes back up around and goes to like Campeche. And you can go to Chichen Itza. It'll like cut back through. I think maybe it might stop in Merida. I think it does. Yeah, Merida. Yeah, Merida. So it's a big loop, and there's a ton of jungle out there. Like we've traveled through the peninsula, and for a good portion of it, you're just in the jungle. There ain't nothing out there.
Nothing. No stores. No turnarounds. No nothing. You're just going.
So some of these cities that we've traveled to by car. Probably could use the tourism.
Yep.
They're very cool places. There's tons of Mayan ruins out there that either haven't been discovered, newly discovered. They're just not easily accessible by bus or anything. Right. So this will definitely give people the opportunity to appreciate the culture and the history and stuff of the peninsula.
Yeah.
But on the other, and then also Josh is asking, yes. Oh, sorry. To answer your question, yes, it will be an easy way to get from Cancun to Playa to Tulum to Bacalar or whatever.
I think the idea of it is to relieve some of or help the infrastructure in like Cancun and Playa and Tulum. It'll, like you're saying, it'll help tourists see all these other surrounding cities and places and not oversaturate the few, the bigger cities, so we can spread it out a little bit.
And then also we have, right now you have to take a taxi maybe 2 hours or whatever. And then there's 100, or not 100, probably thousands of taxis running up and down the highway every day, causing all this pollution and stuff. And then some people get screwed on a taxi, like the train's all going to be like the same price basically, or different for tourists and locals and stuff. But it's not like, you're not going to have a wide variety of prices like you do with taxis and transfers and things.
Right.
The downside is, and you can debate it either way, is there's the environmental people that are upset that you're taking out some of the jungle, which I can completely understand. They also worry about the cenotes and the groundwater beneath. Is the train going to do something to that water? Is it going to shake rocks into it and cause pollution or whatever? You know. So I can understand that concern.
And also like the animals, they're thinking the animals will get displaced or whatever.
Yeah. But if you've seen the picture, or if you look at a picture of where this train goes through, there's just acres and acres of jungle, and it's taken out like a thin strip, which also the highway did that at some point.
Right.
At some point, that highway didn't exist, and they had to carve that out.
Right.
You know,
I'm sure that was controversial too.
And then,
we don't need roads.
And then people on the other side of the argument, or on that side of the argument, will also say, well, the people bitching about it, the environmental people, where do you guys live? If you live here, you live in a spot that used to be jungle. They plowed it out, built your hotel or your apartment building or your house or whatever. So, you know, this is the price of progress, I guess.
Right.
But then also we worry about some of those little towns like I was talking to, while the people in the town could use the tourism, we worry about it getting over touristy and kind of ruining it.
Ruining that like small town vibe. You've been coming to Playa since the 90s, and it's grown so much.
For
and
sure.
Some people are upset about that. Like, it used to be a cute little fishing town, and now it's this huge, like,
just kind of
touristy
saturated.
Kind of area.
Yes, for sure. So, so that's a little more about the Train Maya, but you know, like I said, it will be a good option to come down here, and especially, you know, if you're going somewhere south of Playa or, you know, Tulum, you know, any of those places. I think
it'll be great because now you can actually pinpoint what you want in your vacation. If you want to go to Tulum for these music festivals and a different kind of, you know, vacation, if you're a younger person, instead of going Cancun to Playa or like one of the other cities and then Tulum, you can just go straight to Tulum. And they have an airport now.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, Tulum just opened their international airport. And basically all the major airlines in the U.S. have committed to it. I think most of them start running in February. But if you're coming from Atlanta, I believe Delta is doing direct flights to Tulum. And in Florida, I mean, they're all doing them from everywhere. But the direct flights from Atlanta is Delta. And then I think in Florida, maybe Orlando and Miami, they're doing Spirit direct flights to Tulum. So we're basically right in the middle. So north of us is Cancun, about 45 minutes to an hour. South of us, about 50 minutes to an hour and 5 minutes to Tulum. So we're smack dab in the middle. So it's nice to have extra options.
Yeah.
So if you're ever looking to come down here, check the new Tulum airport too.
Yeah, I'm excited for the train. I think it's going to be great. It'll help us get around easier. We don't have to rent a car, take the bus,
that's
and
the
then
other
a
thing.
taxi.
And I don't think the train is cheap. It's not like $5 or anything.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Like think of high class train.
Yeah, it's like,
it looks really nice.
It has like restaurants on it and everything. But I have heard that the scenery isn't great because it's like you're in the jungle for like
just trees,
hours and hours,
trees.
Whatever. But you know, it'll be fun. So I'm excited to try it. But yeah. Good question, Josh. Thank you.
We'll touch base on that again. I'm sure.
Once we do it.
Yes.
Yeah, then we can talk about it for sure. All right. Well, we will wrap this up for this week. Don't forget to support the podcast, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. Wanted to thank Christina again, who bought us 20 beers over the holidays. Thank you so much.
Yes, muchas gracias, Christina.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Yeah, fantastic. So we really appreciate any support that we get from you guys. So thank you. As usual, you can follow us on YouTube at Hansons on Hiatus. Instagram, Spotify, all the things, Google Podcasts, Apple that.
Podcasts, all the podcasts.
Yeah. So hope you guys have a great, safe rest of your weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.